Christmas is a time that often invites us to pause, to reflect, and to return to what is truly meaningful in life. It is a season often tangled with the superficial or flurry of decorations, the exchange of gifts, the rush of holiday shopping. Yet, beneath the glitter and the frenzy, there lies a deeper, more profound truth waiting to be discovered. The true spirit of Christmas is not found in the things we give or receive, but in the way we open ourselves to the world around us. Christmas, in its truest form, is an invitation to discover a deeper kind of love, one that surpasses the superficial, the conditional, and the transactional. It is easy to get caught up in the excitement of giving and receiving material gifts, wrapped in shiny paper with colorful bows, but the true spirit of Christmas reveals itself when we look beyond these externalities to the love that underlies the season. At its core, Christmas is about a love that transcends conditions, expectations, and limitations, a love that asks for nothing in return, yet gives freely to all. When we talk about love in the context of Christmas, it's important to understand that this love is not bound by the rules of the world. The world teaches us that love is something earned. It is often given as a reward or withheld as punishment. We are taught that love comes with terms and conditions. We receive love when we behave a certain way, when we achieve certain milestones, when we present ourselves in ways that meet the expectations of those around us. But the love that Christmas invites us to embrace is entirely different. It is a love that is not earned or conditional, but simply given. It is the kind of love that exists not because we deserve it, but because it is freely offered, regardless of our actions or shortcomings. This unconditional love is perhaps most beautifully symbolized in the Christmas story itself. The birth of Jesus in a humble manger marks a radical departure from what we might expect of a gift from the divine. If we were to imagine the greatest gift, we might picture something grand, something powerful, something that demands respect and awe. Instead, we are given a child born to poor parents in a place meant for animals. The world's eyes would have dismissed this as insignificant, yet it is in this simplicity that the essence of Christmas love is revealed. The love that entered the world on that night did not come with demands. It did not ask for perfection, wealth, or power. It was given to a world that had so often turned its back on what truly matters. It was a love that showed up, regardless of the circumstances, in the most unexpected of places. This kind of love challenges everything we think we know about love. We are conditioned to believe that love must be earned or given in exchange for something. We often look for love in places where we think it can be reciprocated, in relationships that offer something in return, whether it is affection, approval, or status. But the love of Christmas invites us to look deeper, to see that love is most powerful when it is given freely, without expectation. The true gift of Christmas is not in receiving the perfect present, but in the ability to give love, regardless of whether it is returned or not. It is the kind of love that doesn't require a reason to exist, it simply does. We see this love in the small, often unnoticed gestures that people make during the Christmas season. It is in the way someone offers a smile to a stranger, the way a parent sacrifices their time and energy to make Christmas special for their children, or the way a friend listens attentively, offering comfort in times of need. These moments may seem insignificant on the surface, but they are reflections of a deeper truth. Love doesn't always come in grand gestures or expensive gifts. Sometimes it is most profoundly expressed in the quiet acts of kindness, in the willingness to show up for others without expecting anything in return. At Christmas, we are reminded that love is not bound by perfection. In a world that often judges people based on their achievements or outward appearance, Christmas offers us a different standard. The love of Christmas is not a reward for good behavior or success, but a gift that is freely offered, regardless of our flaws. In fact, it is precisely in our imperfection that this love shines brightest. It is a love that does not demand we be perfect, that does not judge us for our mistakes or failures. Instead, it invites us to come as we are, to be embraced even in our brokenness. The love that Christmas speaks of does not require us to be whole before we can receive it. It comes to us as we are, offering the chance to heal, to grow, and to experience grace. This love is not passive either. It is an active, moving force that compels us to reach out to others. It doesn't simply remain in the comfort of our own hearts or homes. It urges us to go beyond ourselves and share with the world. Love, in its truest form, is not self-contained. It is expansive, constantly flowing outward. This is why Christmas is such a powerful reminder. It is a time when we are encouraged to open our hearts wider, to give of ourselves, not because we have to, but because we are moved by the love that surrounds us. The season calls us to be more generous, not just in material gifts, but in offering kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. The love of Christmas asks us to step outside of our own desires and comforts and to consider the needs of others. In a world that often feels divided, where self-interest can overshadow compassion, Christmas offers us a blueprint for love that transcends boundaries. It is a love that reaches across differences, be it race, religion, or social status, and reminds us that we are all part of a larger human family. It is not about the people we choose to love, but about loving those we might otherwise overlook or dismiss. The true spirit of Christmas is found in this inclusivity, in the willingness to embrace others without judgment, to offer warmth to those who might feel cold, to bring hope to those who might feel hopeless. Christmas also teaches us that love is not simply a feeling, but an action. It's easy to say we love someone, but true love is revealed in what we do for others. It is the actions we take that show the depth of our love, the time we spend with those who need us, the sacrifices we make to ensure others are cared for, the way we put aside our own needs to meet the needs of those around us. This love calls us to go beyond mere words and into the realm of genuine, selfless action. It demands that we give more than what is convenient, more than what is expected. It calls us to love, even when it costs us something. This kind of love is not easy, and it is not always rewarded in the ways we might hope. But therein lies its power. Love that is freely given, without expectation of return, transforms both the giver and the receiver. It is in the act of giving selflessly that we discover the true meaning of Christmas. In giving, we are reminded that the more we give, the more we receive. Not in material wealth, but in the richness of connection, of understanding, of a heart that is fuller for having given away some of itself. At the heart of the Christmas message is this powerful truth: love is the most valuable gift we can give and receive. It is a love that asks nothing in return, but in giving it freely, it enriches us in ways that material gifts never can. The love of Christmas is not just for the season, but for every day of our lives. It is a love that calls us to open our hearts to others, to act with kindness, and to offer grace. This love is the true spirit of Christmas, and when we embrace it, we become part of a story that is far greater than ourselves, a story that is written in every act of selfless love we offer to the world. True greatness is not found in the accumulation of wealth, status, or power, but in the humility with which we approach life and the simplicity we choose to embrace. The spirit of Christmas invites us to look beyond the extravagant displays of material success and instead consider the quiet, often unnoticed acts of kindness and sacrifice that truly define greatness. It teaches us that true worth does not lie in what we possess, but in the way we give of ourselves to others. Christmas reminds us that greatness is not measured by the world's standards. The world teaches us that greatness is associated with public recognition, with accolades, and with the ability to dominate and control. But the Christmas story offers us a different vision of greatness, a vision that is grounded in humility. Jesus was born not in a palace, surrounded by wealth and power, but in a humble manger in a small, insignificant town. He came into the world not as a king in the worldly sense, but as a servant, the gift of love and grace to all. This is the true essence of greatness. It is not about how high we can rise above others, but about how low we are willing to go to lift others up. This message of humility can often be overlooked in a society that celebrates the loud, the flashy, and the ostentatious. The idea of greatness that we are presented with is often tied to public recognition and material success. We are taught to pursue fame, wealth, and influence as markers of achievement. However, the true greatness celebrated at Christmas is not about what we have, but about what we have. It is in the simple, everyday actions that often go unnoticed: the quiet act of kindness, the willingness to serve without expecting anything in return, the generosity that requires no recognition. These are the moments that define true greatness, because they come from a place of love, not ego. Christmas teaches us that greatness is about selflessness. It is about giving without expectation, sacrificing without regret, and loving without reservation. When we give of ourselves without the desire for personal gain, we step into a space where true greatness resides. This is the kind of greatness that lasts beyond the fleeting moments of recognition and lasts in the hearts of those we touch. It is the greatness that doesn't demand a stage or a spotlight, but instead finds its fulfillment in the quiet, unseen moments of compassion and generosity. Moreover, the spirit of Christmas encourages us to embrace simplicity. In a world obsessed with excess and consumption, the season calls us to return to the basics, to recognize that contentment is found not in more, but in enough. Greatness is not about accumulating wealth or acquiring more possessions. It is about appreciating what we have and finding joy in the simple things. The beauty of Christmas lies not in the extravagant gifts or the perfect decorations, but in the moments shared with loved ones, in the quiet peace that comes from being present, and in the love that flows freely between hearts. These simple, meaningful moments are the true markers of greatness, for they are the ones that resonate most deeply in our souls. At Christmas, we are reminded that the most profound acts of greatness often come in the form of small, humble gestures. It is in offering a kind word to someone who is struggling, in giving a hand to someone in need, in listening with patience and understanding. These are the moments that shape lives, not the grand gestures of wealth or power. It is the humble heart, willing to serve and to love, without expectation of anything in return, that reflects the true spirit of Christmas. In embracing humility and simplicity, we learn that greatness is not a destination to be achieved, but a way of being in the world. It is not about the accolades we receive or the recognition we gain, but about the love we share and the lives we touch along the way. True greatness, as revealed through the spirit of Christmas, is not about reaching the highest heights, but about serving others with a heart full of grace and humility. Christmas is a season that invites us to reflect on hope just for a better tomorrow, but hope that things can change, that there is always the possibility of renewal and transformation. In a world often marked by division, suffering, and despair, Christmas stands as a beacon of light that reminds us that hope is never truly lost. It is in the smallest acts of kindness, in the quiet moments of compassion, that hope begins to shine again. The birth of Jesus symbolizes a new beginning, the promise that despite the challenges of life, there is always the potential for something beautiful to emerge. Christmas invites us to embrace this hope and to believe that no matter how dark the world may seem, light will always find a way to break through. Hope is often difficult to hold on to in times of adversity. Life can be overwhelming, and it is easy to feel as though things will never improve, that we are stuck in a cycle of despair and frustration. Whether it's personal struggles, societal issues, or the pain of loss, it is tempting to believe that things will never change. Yet, the message of Christmas challenges this belief. The birth of a child in the most humble of circumstances serves as a powerful reminder that great things can arise from unexpected places. In the midst of hardship, there is always the potential for something new to emerge. This child, born in a manger, was not just a baby, but the symbol of hope for a world in desperate need of change. It is this hope that we are called to carry with us through the season and beyond. When we think of hope, it is not just about wishing for a better future, but about actively believing that change is possible. Hope is not passive, it is an active force that calls us to take action, to make a difference, and to be the change we wish to see in the world. Christmas is a reminder that even in the face of challenges, we are not powerless. The very essence of the holiday speaks to the power of transformation. It reminds us that no matter how broken the world may seem, there is always the possibility for something better to emerge. We are not merely waiting for hope to come to us, we are invited to be agents of hope, to carry that light into the world and share it with others. At Christmas, we celebrate not just the birth of Jesus, but the arrival of hope itself. The child born in Bethlehem represents the possibility of redemption, the belief that even the most difficult situations can be transformed. This hope is not a naive belief that everything will be perfect or that the world will be free of suffering, but it is the belief that we can find meaning, purpose, and beauty even in the midst of hardship. Christmas reminds us that no matter how dark the world may seem, there is always light. It may not always shine brightly, and it may not always come in the form we expect, but it is always present, always waiting to be discovered. This hope, rooted in the Christmas story, is not a fleeting feeling or an abstract concept. It is something that can be embodied in our everyday lives. It is in the way we treat one another, in the way we offer kindness to those in need, in the way we choose love over fear and compassion over indifference. The true spirit of Christmas is about embodying this hope in tangible ways, about seeing the potential for good in others, about believing that even the smallest act of kindness can ripple outward and create lasting change. Hope is something we carry within ourselves, and it is something we can give to others through our actions, words, and presence. Hope also requires vulnerability. It asks us to let go of the need for certainty and control, and to trust that things will work out, even if we cannot see how. It is not always easy to hope when life feels uncertain, or when we are faced with challenges that seem insurmountable. But Christmas calls us to embrace that uncertainty, to believe that there is a greater purpose at work, and to trust that things can change for the better. It is a season that teaches us to have faith not just in the future, but in ourselves and in the goodness of the world around us. Hope is the fuel that propels us forward, even when the road ahead is unclear, because it allows us to believe in the possibility of transformation. The hope of Christmas also speaks to the need for reconciliation and healing. The world is filled with division and conflict, but Christmas offers us the chance to bridge those divides, to heal old wounds, and to seek understanding where there was once animosity. The message of peace that Christmas carries is not just about the absence of conflict, but about the presence of love, forgiveness, and compassion. It is about choosing to see the humanity in others, even those we disagree with, and choosing to act with grace and understanding. This kind of hope is not a passive hope that things will improve on their own, but a hope that calls us to be active participants in the healing process, to seek reconciliation where there is division and peace where there is discord. A hope also involves looking inward, reflecting on our own lives, and acknowledging the areas where we need growth, healing, and change. Christmas invites us to ask ourselves difficult questions about our values, our priorities, and our relationships. It challenges us to reflect on how we can become better versions of ourselves, how we can embody the love, grace, and compassion that the season calls for. This kind of hope requires introspection and honesty, as it asks us to confront our own shortcomings and work toward personal transformation. Just as the world was transformed by the birth of a child in a manger, so too can our lives be transformed by embracing the hope that comes with this season. The hope that Christmas brings is not just for the future, but also for the present. It is a hope that challenges us to live fully in the moment, to appreciate the beauty and the blessings of the here and now. It is so easy to get caught up in the demands of the future or the regrets of the past, but Christmas calls us to stop and appreciate the present, to see the goodness that exists in the world, to take in the beauty of the season, and to be present for people who matter most. This is a hope that invites us to celebrate life as it is, to recognize the value of each moment, and to be grateful for the opportunities we have to make a difference. Hope, as demonstrated by the birth of Jesus, is about believing that no matter how broken the world may seem, there is always the potential for healing, for renewal, and for growth. It is not a hope that denies the reality of suffering, but one that sees suffering as a pathway to transformation. Christmas teaches us that even in the darkest of times, hope is always within reach. It calls us to embrace the possibility of change, to trust in the power of love and grace, and to believe that things can always get better. Through this hope, we are invited to see the world and ourselves in a new light. Christmas is a season that beckons us to reflect on gratitude, to take a moment to appreciate the blessings in our lives and recognize the gifts we often take for granted. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to focus on what we lack, on the things we desire but do not yet have. We are taught to always strive for more, to look ahead to what is next, and to measure success by accumulation. However, Christmas offers a different perspective. It calls us to shift our focus from what we do not have to what we do, and to embrace the richness of the present moment. Gratitude, as exemplified during the holiday season, is not about what we have or haven't achieved, but about recognizing the value of what is already before us. When we practice gratitude, we begin to see the world through a different lens. Rather than constantly yearning for more, we begin to appreciate the small moments, the simple joys, and the people who bring warmth and meaning into our lives. The Christmas season is the perfect reminder to pause and reflect on these blessings. We have a roof over our heads, food on the table, and loved ones to share our lives with. These are not guarantees, and yet we often overlook their significance, focusing instead on what is missing or what could be better. Christmas invites us to take a step back and see the abundance in our lives, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude is not just about being thankful for tangible possessions, but also for the intangible gifts that life offers. It's about appreciating the moments of connection we share with others, the laughter around the dinner table, the comfort of a friend's support, the sense of peace that comes from being with family. These are the things that truly enrich our lives, and they are often the ones we overlook when we're caught up in the rush of daily life. Christmas reminds us to slow down, to take in these moments, and to express our thanks for the relationships and experiences that make life meaningful. Furthermore, gratitude encourages a shift in mindset. When we are focused on what we do not have, we are often consumed by feelings of lack or inadequacy. But gratitude transforms this mindset by helping us recognize that we already have enough. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, from need to contentment. At Christmas, this shift is especially powerful. It is a time when we are encouraged to give, not just material gifts, but also the gift of our time, our attention, and our love. When we give from a place of gratitude, it enriches both the giver and the receiver. We recognize that the more we give, the more we have to be thankful for. Gratitude allows us to appreciate the simple acts of kindness, the gestures that often go unnoticed, and to see them for the gifts they truly are. The act of expressing gratitude also fosters a sense of connection and unity. It reminds us that we are not alone, that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Christmas is a time when we come together with those we care about, when we share meals, stories, and laughter. In doing so, we are reminded that life is not about individual success, but about community, shared experiences, and mutual support. Gratitude for these connections reinforces the bonds we share and strengthens our relationships. It reminds us that we are never truly alone, that there is always something to be grateful for, even in the darkest times. Finally, gratitude at Christmas is not just about looking back at what we've received, but about looking forward with hope. It helps us to cultivate a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that we have enough. It allows us to approach the future with optimism, because we have already experienced the richness of the present moment. In a world that often encourages comparison and competition, gratitude reminds us to be satisfied with what we have and to recognize the beauty in the life we are living. Through gratitude, we learn to embrace the fullness of the present, to celebrate what we have, and to trust the future will unfold with its own blessings.